Dodgers land Skubal, plus the mind-bending Miz. The Pulse newsletter Megaphone. This is the Athletics daily sports newsletter. Sign up here to receive the Pulse directly in your inbox. Godspeed to the lows, Angels today. Inside, handshake Skubal to LA. Fire Misiorowski's outrageous heat face, screaming in fear inside Infantino's nightmare while you were sleeping. Blockbuster. Done. This MLB season's most anticipated deal is agreed, a league source told The Athletic last night, with Tarik Skubal headed in a predictable southwesterly direction.
Wet boots ruining your mornings? This silent, fanless dryer gently dries boots, shoes, and gloves overnight while helping reduce damp odors, so your gear is ready when you are. Want to get the best verified deal and see full details? Visit grabdeal.us/4 right now.
Advertisement. The Tigers-Dodgers trade means the back-to-back Al Cy Young winner is joining the back-to-back World Series champs, and you're about to hear a lot about the competitive balance in baseball. The Tigers get 3 prospects in return, a relatively modest haul they basically had to accept because Skubal is a free agent after the season. They didn't need Skubal like other teams needed Skubal, but even for them he's a level-upper. A lefty whose 5 pitches include an upper 90s fastball and an otherworldly changeup. This was the deadline's big domino, so expect more action to follow today. Follow our live blog for frequent updates, predictions, and analysis ahead of Monday's 6 p.m. On the subject of unhittable pitchers, the Miz. We've never seen anything like this nearly 200 years into the whole baseball thing. Almost nothing in this sport is new. Jacob Misiorowski, however, is a different animal. He has never happened before, and his success is both mind-bending and a little unnerving. This afternoon, the Brewers' ace starts against the woeful Angels. If he goes 6 innings and strikes out 10 guys while allowing 1 run and sitting at 101 miles per hour with his fastball, it will not even feel that special. The Miz, 24, has posted a 1.58 ERA and 185 strikeouts in 20 starts, grabbing a commanding lead in the NL Cy Young race. That line isn't what's unprecedented. There's a long, fun list, big table here of modern pitchers to have 20 start, 120 inning runs with even better run prevention. However, he throws unbelievably hard. If he's not the hardest throwing starting pitcher ever, touching 105.5 mph in his last start, he's the hardest thrower who's done his work in a time of detailed pitch tracking. In terms of raw heat, it's Misiorowski and a guy named Ryan. But it's not just the heat. Misiorowski has thrown 1,154 seamers this season. He often throws dozens of pitches in excess of 100 mph in one game and, in his last start, threw a preposterous 66, several times more than any other pitcher since they started tracking. League-wide fastball usage is around 31%, likely the lowest ever, but the Miz is at 64%. Consider 2014 Aroldis Chapman, who averaged 100.9 mph with the heater and threw 643 of them across the whole season, i.e., 56% of the fastballs that 2026 Miz had uncorked by the end of July. That year, Chapman had a 2 ERA and made the second of 4 straight All-Star teams while he was at the peak of his powers. It's a crude comparison, and Misiorowski isn't a lefty. But if I told you the Miz is like having prime Aroldis Chapman for several times as many innings, I wouldn't be far off. Just absurd, and all happening in his first full season in the majors. There is, of course, something tense about watching Misiorowski. Pitchers get hurt, and nobody has ever thrown with this kind of force and frequency. How worried should we be about that while we watch his greatness? I asked Eno Saris. Speech balloon. Nobody likes the analyst with the reams of research throwing cold water on an exciting phenomenon, but here I am. Which sucks, because Misiorowski is super fun to watch when he's doing what no other starter has done in the pitch tracking era. Advertisement, but there are some reasons to worry, including one important piece of research about direct stress on the elbow as a result of increased velocity. But they aren't very promising in this case, because Misiorowski throws such a hard slider, too, calling to mind peak Jacob deGrom. Another peer-reviewed, published study gives some hope, though, because Misiorowski generally sits well below his maximum velocity. Either way, just a general look at the hardest-throwing starters in the league shows you how many have been injured in the last few years. We're getting close to nearly half the league having had Tommy John surgery at some point. The truth of the matter is that it's probably a matter of when, not if. On the one hand, that's sobering to read. On the other hand, who among us knows what tomorrow promises? All the more reason to enjoy this historic ride. More news: the Mariners sent reliable starter Luis Castillo to the White Sox for Seranthony Dominguez, Nolan Jones, and Boston Smith, according to a league source. Details here. Will Levis, fighting for the Titans' backup QB job, said there aren't 32 quarterbacks in the NFL better than him. The comments are brutal. American Yilimi No has a 3-stroke lead in the AIG Women's Open after a really rough couple of months. Good background here on the 25-year-old as she chases her first major today. Astros infielder Carlos Correa says there's a chance he'll return this season despite having an ankle surgery in May that was described as season-ending. Kevin Durant, who knows a thing or two about super teams, said the 76ers are, for sure, championship contenders with LeBron James. Comments here. More tough luck for San Francisco 49ers wide receiver Ricky Pearsall, who have season-ending knee surgery. Full story. The Lions signed former All-Pro linebacker Devin White after his 174-tackle season with the Raiders. Watch Guide Television WNBA, Fever at links 1 p.m. 2 and 4 teams in our WNBA Power Rankings. Television MLB, Red Sox at Dodgers 7:20 p.m. ET on NBC out of nowhere, in Boston's case, anyway, this one has at least some chance of being a World Series preview. Breakout lefty Jake Bennett starts for the Sox. He has a 2.74 ERA in his first 11 MLB starts, despite barely striking anyone out. Get tickets to games like this here. Pulse picks most shared stories on The Athletic last week. We asked 13 athletes for the best mental advice they've ever received. Athletic's hottest hitter undergoes emergency surgery for ruptured testicle. Arsenal exploring deal for Real Madrid winger Vinicius Jr. Mike McCarthy came home to Pittsburgh. His family and the grief he can't escape. Yankees reveal annual George Costanza bobblehead. Complete with calzone, it was a disastrous week for FIFA and President Gianni Infantino. Here is the inside story of what went down, with some fresh intel on potential challengers to Infantino's throne. I'm the kind of person who wants to start and finish a craft in one sitting, and bonus points if it's something actually useful. This impossibly easy knot bag really checked all the boxes. Tory Hart advertisement: some shows you watch because one actor is worth the time investment. That's the case with Slow Horses on Apple TV, starring Gary Oldman. A former star in the service, he's now the grumpiest of burnouts, heading up a group of misfit agents who have only been assigned to his department as punishment. I cannot stress enough how brilliant Oldman is. Immediately an all-time favorite character. Levi Weaver: which NHL jerseys should make a comeback? Our staff picked one from every team's history. Multiple brands have realized that decent sunglasses shouldn't cost the same as a car payment, but nobody has captured my heart like Gooder. I don't know how many pairs I have now or have lost with little guilt. Smiling face with sunglasses, Chris Sproul most clicked in the newsletter yesterday. Tony Romo, CBS, and the worst contract in media history. Closed mailbox with raised flag. That's all for now. Say hello at the Pulse at The Athletic. And check out our other newsletters.